Hi there. I'm here to demo the last 3 sprints worth of work that we've done on a season rollover feature. We are not going to release it, but we're very, 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 very close. And I wanted to showcase where we're at. And we just got this this next sprint to just try and flush out any of the issues that we can see in there, but hopefully I can showcase it all to you, and you can see how the season rollover feature is coming together. So what I've got in front of you is an association, so I'm going to use an association. I've got 4 examples here, but I'll be showing 3 of these examples with different types of competitions. When I showcase season rollover, it's sort of broken up into 5 independent features. And the first one of those features is the season rollover and club management settings rollover. I'm going to show you a season rollover first, and I'm going to use this demo association team league here. Inside this league, I've had 3 seasons, and inside those seasons, it's made up of a pretend league of Monday grades and Wednesday grades. And this is a non-club league that I'm showcasing here. And it's made up of some terribly named teams, but teams 1 to 30 here. Just to showcase that these are association-based teams that happen in certain sports in the country that don't have clubs involved in them, have very similar types of competition set up where the grades are created by the association and the teams are created by the association, and the association allocates participants to those teams. So this one I'm going to showcase with rolling over a season, and then I'm going to showcase rolling over the grades, and I'm going to showcase rolling over the teams. Okay, so here we go. So I'm going to go back into, as I just get the error, I'll go back into my season list. And I'm going to say I'm ready to start setting up my 2023 season. So I'm going to see this rollover season button where I get to select a season to roll over from the demo association team league, i.e. the competition name. This will list the seasons that I can roll over from. And I'm going to choose the most recent one because it's the most updated one that I have that I want to roll over. Choose that season, I press continue. And inside this, there's a bit of information about what's about to happen. And what's about to happen here is I'm basically rolling over the season. Grades and participants and association and club teams will not be rolled over as part of this little wizard here. But what I do need to do is I need to select what season I'm creating. I need to select the start and end dates of that season. And I'm going to say it goes from then to then. I can do my normal exception dates. And what you'll see here is we are enforcing you to put in dates, which is we don't want to copy over or roll over any dates. So you'll see here that we want you to put in the dates, but we will bring over the venues that you used in that past season, so you don't have to rekey them, but you can add or subtract any venues into this season. We're going to default to bring visibility as hidden, and then the user can change it to visible should they wish. We'll also bring in any age restrictions that there were, which is the date of birth range, this one. And we'll bring in all the age groups that were used in the past season, as you can see here, but we're still going to ask you to tell us when you want to calculate those age groups. So in some of the comps that me or my kids play in, it's normally at the start of the year, that's going to be calculated. And all of a sudden that says, here's the age groups. You're using the same age groups, but you're calculating ages using this date here, as you're all used to, whoever is using age groups. And then I create season. And that's just a quick way of being able to, I'm taking age groups and I'm taking venues for those users that are doing non-club type sport, type competitions. So I've come in here, and yes, it would probably, I would normally make it upcoming, but in this instance, I haven't. And now I come into the grades list and I go, I wouldn't mind getting those grades that I used last year. I may make some amendments to those, but I'm going to grab them all in because that's going to save me a lot of time. So when I press the add grade button, I'm going to see a modal here that's going to allow me to either roll over grades from a past season or add grades manually, as you can always do, or used to have to do. If I was to roll over grades manually, it would go, I'd press this button and I'd go to that normal flow, create grade. This modal will only come up if there are no grades in your season. So the first time you do this, this is what's going to happen. And we allow you to do this once only per season. So when I press roll over all grades from a previous season and continue, then I get a little bit more blue writing about what's about to happen. So this is rolling over grades into this season. It's not rolling over participants or teams, it's rolling over grades. What I need to do is select a source season. Once again, I'm going to trust my most previous season on this occasion, but you can choose any season. I'm going to choose the previous season of 2022. I'm going to go next, a little wizard here, two-step wizard, and it's going to tell me a little bit about what I'm about to do. And the main thing is that there are 20 grades that I'm about to roll over, and I can choose the visibility of all of those grades, what I want them to default as when they get created. Then I press the rollover grades button, and I'll see a screen here that tells me what's going on. And I'm going to need to refresh this. And when I refresh it, it's, as you can see, that counting down then. And then they all are. Those grades that I've created there are taking on all the exact settings that they had in the previous season. So, for instance, I think I've set this one up, the Monday under 7 boys green, to have different settings in the past season to the Monday under 7 girls white. So it's using the exact settings that had in the previous season that you're rolling over from. And just to illustrate that fact, in here, I'm going to, I think this is I think we've come to each period length is 20 minutes, and I think I may have changed the other one to be slightly different, and hopefully I haven't forgotten what I've done. There we go, I have. So 10 minutes, 100 minutes of game slot time. So it's for every setting, but I've just got a little one example there to show you that it's just dragging in what the previous settings were. And I think that's going to be a huge time saver for the competition admins out there. That's how I do my grades as an association or league. Now, in this example, I'm also an association that's running my own teams. And there are certain country associations in different sports, as I mentioned earlier, that would do this. And when I go to the teams tab and I press the add team button, I'll get the same modal. But this is, I'm only going to be rolling over association-based teams. I won't be rolling over club-based teams. This is just for association-based teams. Clubs are going to be rolling over their own teams. But in this occasion, I do have association-based teams. So I'm going to choose that rollover. I'm going to select it, and I'm going to go next. It's going to tell me a little bit of information. You've got 30 teams. Yes, that is right. I want to roll them all over, roll over the teams, and it will, within that long, roll over those teams that I had from last year and the settings associated with those teams. Obviously, there's not a lot of settings associated with teams as there are with grades, but it's a bit of a time saver. Now I can go in now and I can edit these grades or teams as I would used to be able to do. But it's a quick way of getting them in. But I can do all the normal stuff with these grades and teams that if I was to create them manually. So I hope that makes a bit of sense. And I'm looking at Nat, just a bit of feedback there. So in this silent demo. So what I'm next going to show is a competition with clubs in it. And I'm going to choose this demo seniors club league here. In this demo seniors club league, once again, I've got a pretty typical scenario here where I'm coming up to my new season and I want to create that season. This is a club-based competition. So when I'm sorry, I shouldn't have done that. When I roll over my season, I'm going to select. This is the same flow that I just showed you. I'm going to select this. It's just that because clubs were invited to that source season, there's an extra step in the wizard to try and help out the invitation of clubs quickly. So when I press continue, I'm going to see the same page here, but there's a stepper up here when I'm rolling over a season because it's got clubs in it. So I'm going to choose that same thing. I'm going to start this time. I'm going to start a bit later. I can put my exception dates in. I can see my overflow venues, but this is a home and away type competition, so this is where the clubs have their own venues, but I would have brought in my overflow venues for those who know about overflow venues. I can select my season visibility. And once again, if I did have age restrictions on, they'd come through. I do have some age groups here, under 17s, 19s, opens and masters, and I need to choose that date by which they're calculated, and then that's fixed, and I go next. On the next page is what the club management settings are. And you for those who run club-based competitions, you know that this page is once you get into the season, and we're merging these two pages together so that we can get those invites out to the clubs as soon as you're rolling over that season. So what it's done here is that previous season had 4 clubs invited to it, and it's going to re-invite those clubs, and you can still use this field to invite more, or you can still take clubs out of the invitation list. Once again, it's bringing across all of the same stuff that was in the club management settings of the source season. So player, team manager, and volunteer were the roles that the association set. I've got a date here for club allocation dates, and we are going to ask the administrator to put in dates every time. So I'm going to say clubs can allocate to grades between those dates. And I'm going to bring in whatever the club management settings were for allow club admins to edit team names. I can always change these, but this is what they were set at, okay? Same with player points. The age limit, it's the same. I would have brought it all in. I'm also bringing in the fees. In this occasion, I don't have fees set up, but I would have brought in all the fees that were associated, as well as all of my, if I had advanced fees as the association, they would also come through here, which can always be edited. And if there's a custom field coming from above, I will also see that from in my administrative bodies. I'll also see it's the same screen, but we're bringing them together and we're using the source season settings. So only difference that I wanted to show there was that I was going through a club management setting straight after my rollover of season. And once again, I'll go in there and it will look as per normal. And I would go through that same flow if I wanted to set up my grades from a previous season. In this instance, I think I've got 18 grades. I think I've got a senior type competition, demo competition that I have set up here. And as I keep on clicking this refresh button, just running through that creation of those grades, to which I believe it's going to be right there. So I've just created the men's Div 1 Reebok seniors, the men's Div 1 reserves, men's Div 2, blah, 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 as I go down. So hopefully that looks pretty similar to a senior type comp here. But what I now want to show you is, so what I've shown you now is a season rollover. I've shown you how the club settings get rolled over when clubs were invited to the source season. I've shown how I've shown how grades get rolled over by the league or association admin. I've shown how association teams get rolled over by the league or association admin, but I haven't yet showed you how club teams get rolled over. And so I am going to go back to my list of competitions where I've got some data set up for my Demo Juniors Club League 1. Bit of a mouthful. But I have gone about and I've rolled over as the association. I've rolled over this season. I've done any grades here because I wanted to showcase the club version of this. So there are some clubs invited to this, and just to show you those clubs, we've got the Demo Reds Club, the Demo Blues Club, the Demo Stars Club, and the Demo Rockets Club that have all accepted their invitations. I am going to go to the Demo Rockets, and I'm going to go into that 2023 season of the Junior Club League 1, which is upcoming. And in this case, I believe I'm running a junior comp. This is a junior club, and I've had a lot of teams set up in my past season at my junior club, and there can be lots of junior teams, as anyone involved in junior sport knows, at each club. And so what I'm going to showcase here, I probably should have showcased what there was in the pre-season, the one before that. And here's the Rockets. They've got 9 teams in this occasion. They've got the Rockets, under 7 boys aqua, under 7 boys brown, under 7 boys green, under 7 girls aqua, blah, 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 blah. And it goes on. Only 9 teams, I know, in this situation, but we've all been at clubs that have got the 20 to 100 plus clubs at their teams at their club. So I'll go back to that season that I've just been invited to and I've accepted, and I can now choose to once again add club teams. When I go to that, this is about how would you like to add club teams? Would you like to add them manually, or would you like to add them? Or would you like to roll over club teams from a previous season? If I ever choose that right-hand box, it's the same UI that everyone's used to about those manual creations. And as I choose the rollover function here, I'll press continue, and I'll see some pretty similar screens. So I'm at the club team now. We're just constantly saying participants. We are not rolling over participants. We're rolling over the club teams right now in this flow. Once again, I'll choose from the season that I want my latest. Usually it will be the latest, but I can choose any of my previous seasons. And I'll go to next, and it'll show me you're about to roll over 9 teams from the previous season, the season 2022, and just up here it tells you where you are. And when I roll that over, it'll come back to this page again where we ask for a refresh, and there's those teams right there rolled over as they were. So we are really close. I hope you're seeing that we're really close to releasing this. We've just got some more testing that we want to do before we let these number of features out. I think I'll pass that over to Johnny.